Hi everyone. So I'm really excited to be here and interviewing Anna, Lindsay, and Laura as part of the Diverse Dads interviews. And I just wonder if I could ask you all to just briefly introduce yourselves. So Anna, would you like to go first?
Yeah, hi. My name's Dr. Anna Tarrent. I'm an associate professor in sociology at the University of Lincoln. And I'm also the director of Following Young Fathers Further, which is a UK research and innovation funded study exploring the lives and support needs of young fathers aged 25 and under.
Hi, I'm Linzi Ladlow. I'm a research fellow on the Following Young Fathers Further project. I've been involved in researching the lives of young fathers and young parents for quite a few years now. I worked as a research assistant on the Following Young Fathers project, which was the sort of original baseline study ahead of the Following Young Fathers Further project.
Hi, I'm Dr. Laura Waite. I'm another research fellow on Following Young Fathers Further, and I bring a bit of a different background to the team, I guess. My PhD was on older punk women, but using some similar research methodologies and methods to what we're using at the moment.
I guess in terms of Following Young Fathers Further and the Diverse Dads projects, Anna, I was just wondering if you could give us a bit of an introduction and some outlining of those projects, if that's okay with you.
So we started the project in January 2020, just 3 months before the pandemic happened. And we planned to do our first wave of interviews with young fathers around sort of June time, June 2020. But as we were developing the project, we also began to talk more with a range of different services and different partners across the UK. And the North East Young Dads and Lads was one of those partners. We kind of then formalised the work we were doing together through the Diverse Dads project. And we were able to secure some funding from the University of Lincoln to explore how we might develop more inclusive practice for a broader constituency of young fathers. We brought some of the young dads on board as peer researchers, and we sought to understand the experiences of young fathers from Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities across the North East region. So our team has been supporting the dads and lads to do some research, and also really just to start a conversation more generally with services, both in the North East region and then across the UK as well, and really just to kind of prompt consideration about how we make services more accessible to more young fathers, and also support them in ways that's supported by evidence, and in ways that enables them to be the best father that they want to be and can be. And so that's what our involvement essentially.
So I guess Lindsay and Laura as well, if you could kind of tell us a bit more about your specific kind of roles within the project as well, that'd be great.
Yeah, so my role primarily has been to support the peer researchers alongside Laura. I think the central aim of our research ethos is to centre the voices of young dads themselves. So it really made sense to bring in the peer researchers as co-producers of the research. And they've been able to develop the research project in ways that we wouldn't have been able to get at without them as speaking as young fathers themselves, and working with the community that they are embedded in themselves. Also working with them has just been absolutely incredible to see how well they've done in pulling the project together, and how their skills have developed over time. And hopefully, those skills will be things that they can take forward in their own careers.
And in terms of them developing skills, it's been really fantastic as well to also see the kind of skills that they already had in place. And I think that's come from previous involvement with, I think some of them have done research with North East Young Dads and Lads previously. And so they've already along the way picked up some of those skills, and they've been able to develop those. And they've offered as well some great kind of insights from their own experiences as well, in thinking about how we approach doing the interviews and what we should be looking for in terms of organisations. So yeah, very similar to Lindsay in terms of kind of supporting them, and sometimes I feel though that saying supporting them is it's doing them a bit of disservice, I guess, because quite often they're there and they're on the ball and they're telling us exactly what they've done and what they're doing next. And yeah, they've been really, really good, really great.
With that in mind, my next question to all of you, and maybe Anna, if you want to start with this one, is what were you trying to achieve, or what were you looking to achieve within this project, and has that changed throughout the project?
I think the main thing that's always driven the Following Young Fathers Further study in particular, but also diverse dads, is that we produce credible research that we can take to policymakers and that we can take to services, that just encourages them to think about how we develop this inclusive support, in this case in ways that are sensitive to intersections of gender, race, ethnicity and religious affiliation, and of course age, particularly if we're thinking about support for young fathers. Our hope is that in developing the project in the way we have, using peer research, that we've established an alternative form of community, particularly for Adam, Will and Dylan, sorry, who have been so amazing, as Laura and Linzi have said, in driving this forward, a lot of this work. So yeah, I mean, ultimately we want to start a conversation as well. So the research we've been able to do has been relatively small, I guess, you know, and there's more work to be done, and there's always more research to do. You know, it's helped us to think about our methods and how we access a wider constituency of young fathers and hear diverse experiences. But ultimately, we're driving towards how we develop and implement inclusive support at multiple levels. So driven by the community, but also in a way that's accessible to policymakers and to practitioners as well.
I think quite often we feel that things have to be done in a very kind of professional, formal manner. And the fact they've got so much out of the sessions being quite informal. And I think that there's a lot of value to that, in, I guess, adapting what we're doing to the people that are involved. And also just as well, flexibility. You know, it's been quite common to be sending WhatsApp messages amongst the kind of the team at various times, answering questions or kind of putting forward some feedback and things like that. So yeah, having to be adaptable, I think, going forward would be something to think about.
I guess just to say that it's been an absolute joy to work on this project,
Yeah.
especially with the peer researchers. And, you know, as Anna says, this is the start of the conversation, and hopefully we can continue to build this research up and move it forward.
Great. I think that's a really lovely place to leave the interview. I think it's thank you again for sharing your time, Anna, Linzi and Laura, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to being part of the webinar and hearing the whole thing in itself, and kind of the findings and seeing how all the interviews kind of come together. It's been a really exciting process for me, just on the background, having looked into it, and for you guys it must have been even more exciting doing it. So thank you for giving up your time today to being interviewed, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day as well.